Hey guys, Josh Kelly here. Welcome back to another SwingU live episode. Tonight we got a great one for you guys. We're going to talk about hitting iron shots. We're going to talk about how to hit a lot more solid iron shots. And the reasoning we're kind of talking about this tonight is I gave a few lessons lately. And my last 3 lessons, I saw the same issue 3 times in a row with the irons. And I figured, you know what? This is probably an issue that most golfers struggle with. And we're going to talk about that tonight. And the kind of the theme of tonight is going to be how to create more lag and how to fix an early release, okay? So many times we see people, golfers, struggle with releasing the club too early on the downswing, okay? And most of the time, the reasoning people are doing this, and especially my students that I just taught this past week, is in an effort to square the club face, okay? Most of the time the club face will be open, and the only way they know how to square it is to flip or release the club early and try to get the club face squared away. Now, when we talk about hitting iron shots, what do we need to do? We need to compress the golf ball, okay? We need to hit down on it slightly. We're hitting ball first, divot second. The hands need to be in front of the ball at impact. So we need to have forward shaft length. An ideal impact position with the irons is the hands on the left thigh or near the left thigh at impact, okay? So our hands need to be in front of the golf ball before we make contact, and right around contact, that's when we start to release the club, okay, and get it out towards the target. Now, most golfers, most tour players that you see that are really good ball strikers, if you want to YouTube Tiger Woods face-on iron swing, slow motion, I think it's awesome to do. One thing you're going to notice, as he starts this downswing and has his left arm parallel to the ground, you're going to see a similar position to this right here, where the arm and the club are making an L, okay? What he's doing here is called lag, so creating lag, and it's getting him in a really good position to come down and have the hands in front and release the club properly, okay? What position do I see most amateurs in, and especially my last 3 lessons, is when that left arm is parallel to the ground on the downswing, this club is that way, okay? They're making more of a V with their arm and their club as opposed to an L, okay? So many people are releasing the club early. What does that do? Number one, with iron swings, especially with iron swing, it's going to be really hard for you to control the low point. Once we start to release the club too early, the low point starts to move back in our swing. Okay, so we're going to see a lot more shots that are hit fat and a lot more shots that are hit thin because this club is starting to get lower to the ground. As I start to release it, it gets lower, and as I flip, it starts to rise up. Okay, so it's going to want to get lower to the ground as I do this. So that's number one. Number one is it's going to be really hard to have good, consistent ball first contact when you're releasing the club too early. Number 2, most of our speed and power is getting let out too early. Okay, so your maximum club head speed is going to be behind the golf ball. Your club is going to be actually slowing down as you make contact with the ball. All right, so if I'm releasing the club early, not only am I not hitting it as solid, not only am I adding a little bit of loft, so we're going to be hitting it higher and shorter, not only am I hitting behind the ball more, or maybe even pulling up and hitting the ball too thin, but I'm also, all those things are really bad, obviously, but I'm also releasing the speed and the maximum power before I hit the golf ball. So obviously this is a huge recipe for disaster. Now, how are we going to fix this? We're going to give you guys a couple drills tonight to kind of work on this. And one of the simplest drills that I know is to find yourself a wall or a tree or maybe a bush. A bush would probably be better for most of you guys that are just starting this drill. But what we're going to do is we're going to get one club length away from the wall off our right hip for a right-handed golfer. Now, obviously this is not going to work for taking your normal backswing because your normal backswing will hit the wall here. If I'm taking a look at any club tracer, a lot of like really cool, there's some cool videos where they take a swing that's face on and they trace where the club head is. So on the backswing, we want to get nice wide takeaway, right? More of a one-piece takeaway. We're not hinging our wrist really early here, okay? Most tour players you're going to see take a nice wide takeaway. That club head is away from their body as much as possible. But as they start to come down, that's when you're going to see the lag. So the downswing line is going to be inside of the backswing line, okay? I think that's very important. This drill we're doing here is not going to help your backswing whatsoever, okay? So we have to make sure that we're not doing this over and over and over again and messing up our takeaway. But this is a great drill nonetheless. I thought it was important to say that. Regardless, we want to be one club length away from the wall here, okay? And the objective is, what we can either do is we can either start at the top of our swing, okay? The objective is to swing down and miss the wall with our club head, kind of easy. If we do release too early and flip, we're going to hit the wall. This is why I say don't do it in your house where you're with your sheetrock. Your wife might be a little bit mad at you. Maybe find a tree and an old club, but you still might hurt yourself. That way, if you have a bush where there's just like leaves or something that you're hitting, gives you some feedback, might be a lot safer, so you can try that first. But regardless, we're one club length away from our right hip. We're starting at the top of our swing. What we're doing is we're making sure we're holding this angle down here. And right when we get that hands on the left thigh here, that's when we start to really release the club and let it fly through, okay? So we can sit here at the top, work our way down. Again, now you're seeing that I'm creating lag here. And the speed, the whoosh sound is right here at the bottom around the golf ball. That's where all my speed is. Another thing you can do here is if you don't want to start at the top, you can hold the club in front of you here, hinge it up, rotate, and then swing through. Okay, what the feeling we are having is we're holding on to this wrist angle. This right elbow is working in towards the golf ball. That's a huge key to creating lag. Is this elbow right here is working down in here. If this elbow starts to move out away from our body on the way down, it's going to be really hard to create lag, and we're going to get the club head really steep, or the club shaft is going to be steep. The more we can work that elbow in, the more shallow our club's going to be, the more lag we're going to be creating. Okay? So really feeling like we're holding on to this angle here. Right when we get around this area, we're starting to release the club. The hands are ahead off the left thigh. Then we can really feel like we're releasing the club. Okay? So this is a great drill. Simple drill to work on in the house. It's going to help you have the sensation of holding on to it longer, especially when you have something here. So many people are trying to hit down and hit the golf ball, hit at the ball. But really we need to be swinging out and releasing out through the golf ball and not at the ball. So many people are trying to hit and release the club at the ball. We really need to be holding on and hitting through and away from the ball and out towards our target. I think that's huge. So that's drill number one. Work on that as much as you can. Like I said, that's not going to help our takeaway. Most tour pros that you will see, we're going to have a nice, wide, long takeaway till we get to the top. Then we're setting our wrist, and then they're holding on to the angle a little bit longer, working that right elbow in towards the body, and then rotating. Rotation is another reason why we see people release the club early. The body starts to break down, it stops rotating, there's nothing, the body's not moving anything, so what's gonna take over? The arms are obviously gonna take over. The more arms take over, the more early release, the less lag we're gonna see. So body rotation is crucial. A great drill for that is just basically swinging the club with one arm. I really like to put the left arm behind the back when I'm doing this. This is one of my favorite drills because when I'm swinging with one arm, I can really feel like my left elbow works back behind me, and as I come through, my hips and my shoulders are opening up, okay? And then we're gonna get the sensation of releasing the club with the right hand. It's really hard to not rotate and use your body correctly when you're doing one-hand drills. So even if you're not hitting the ball great, it's still okay to either take some practice swings or even work your way into hitting a few golf balls, whether you have to tee them up off the ground, whatever it may be. I really just want you to get the sensation of, number one, we're letting the body work through. Our left elbow's working left back behind us. It's really gonna help us rotate the body, okay? One of the reasons why it's hard to rotate the body is with the left arm here, okay? It's really hard to open and get the left arm this way. So this is why the right hand only drill is easier for your body to open up a little bit more. You can start to build that sensation, okay? So the more you can use your right arm only drills to hit balls and to hit practice swings, the better. Another thing that I want to feel is this right elbow is working down and in. If you watch most tour players, one of the secret moves is right around this area here, left arm parallel, or maybe even club more parallel to the ground. That right elbow is really close to their right hip. You're gonna see most tour players, their right elbow and right hip almost join here, and then as they come through, it extends. As soon as they release through the golf ball, that elbow gets away from their right hip and extends and straightens up. That right arm straightens up through the golf ball. So one thing you really feel is on your way down, you can feel like you're really joining your right elbow with your right hip. If I can feel like I'm joining my right elbow, my right hip here, and then I'm releasing and straightening out the right arm, that's an awesome feeling, okay? So crucial. So we can marry those two thoughts together. One arm swing, left arm behind the back. We're feeling like that right elbow is really gonna be pushing and leading in and kind of connecting with that right hip. And as we rotate through, we can release the club through our body. Okay? So let's try that here. Let's try one swing here with just the right arm. We're gonna really feel like we're rotating our body through. The right elbow, right hip are connecting and releasing the club through the ball. Okay? Not bad. Like I said, even if these aren't great shots, we're really teaching our body here to rotate through. All right, we're really feeling like it's easier to open the hips, get the right elbow more in towards our right hip, which is going to create lag, okay? It's going to be really hard not to lag if you can get that right elbow in towards your hip here, okay? There, and we're releasing through. Like I said before, kind of just talked about that. We're really feeling like we're releasing through the golf ball. Most people are coming down and we're trying to hit the ball, okay? As opposed to I'm trying to more so hit and release this club out towards that ball that's in front of us. Put a ball out maybe a foot away. I really want to feel like I'm coming down here and releasing over and out through the second ball. All right, that's crucial. Okay? We're more so swinging out and through and out towards our target as opposed to swinging down and hitting the ball. Right? I think that is so crucial here. So I love this drill. That was probably one of the purest ones I felt. And I really felt that right elbow connecting to that right hip more. Okay? Another good thought for most of you out there who struggle with rotation is at the top of your swing, you can almost feel like this club, as it starts down, is staying up at the top. Okay? We're keeping this club at the top as much as we can, almost pushing it back as we start to rotate down. If you can get the feeling of raising your hands as you start to rotate down, that's really going to help the lower body start to move, the upper body start to move, and then we are going to create a lot more lag and power without even thinking about it. It's all about having this speed, having the release in the correct position so that we can get as much power out of our golf swing as possible. It's not always about, hey, how can I swing the club faster? And for some of you out there that have a good release pattern, that have great lag, and you're not hitting the ball as far as you want, yes, then maybe we need to get a little bit more speed and a little more body rotation, a little more quickness, maybe even a little more strength. But for most golfers out there, you're gonna be able to hit the golf ball further without even gaining any swing speed per se. You're just maximizing your swing speed. So instead of the speed maxing out behind the ball, the speed is maxing out at the ball correctly, and we're gonna hit the ball further. That's why a lot of you guys out there, a lot of the older golfers, a lot of people who struggle with distance, most golfers just aren't releasing the club correctly. So it's so important to try to work on these drills. Try to get those hips working. One drill that I really love, that we've talked about before on these SwingU Lives, and I really can't do it much in here. We're in the simulators here at Lane State Country Club, and to be honest, we're here kind of late at night and nobody else is here, so we're gonna do it. There's cameras here, so hopefully I don't break anything. But this drill is great for outside, nobody around. Maybe you have a big yard, maybe you have a big field near your area that's not necessarily a driving range. But what we're doing is we're taking our swing, and I really like to do this with one arm. What we're doing is we're taking our swing and we're just releasing the club. Okay, so if I told you to get in your swing posture here, okay, set up to the ball, grab it with just your right hand, and all I want you to do is throw this club at the target. What you're gonna find is that you're gonna be rotating like a tour player, because all you're thinking about, you're letting your athletic ability take over, and all you're thinking about is throwing the club down range as much as you can. And what you'll find here is that you're gonna hold on to that leg and you're gonna naturally rotate and release it at the correct time. Okay, you're naturally gonna release the golf club correctly. Okay, that's gonna be huge for most of you guys out there. Not only that, so maybe if you don't have a field or something, you are at the driving range, another thing I like to do is just grab a golf ball. Grab a golf ball, okay, get in posture here. Same thing, just right hand only. I'm gonna try to throw a good line drive down the fairway here. But the key is to stay in posture. I don't want you to stand up here and do it underhand. We're getting in our golf posture here, and we are throwing. And what you're gonna see is the body's gonna start to open. This right elbow is gonna be in here, near the right hip, and I'm gonna release out here. I'm not releasing down at the ground. That's hitting at the ball that most people do. I'm releasing out towards the target. Okay? The more we can do this, again, we're making sure we're getting golf posture here. Okay, the better release pattern and the more rotation I'm taking with me. All right, so crucial. Remember, on our downswing, left arm parallel to the ground. I encourage you once again, once you get done watching this, YouTube Tiger Woods face on slow motion iron swing. On the downswing, left arm parallel, you're gonna see an L here, okay? And then I want you to take a video of your swing at home, next time you're at the range, face on, slow motion if you can, and I want you to see where your angle is, left arm parallel to the ground on your downswing with an iron. Most of you will find that you're here, okay? That you're releasing, this means you're releasing the club too early, okay? Either that or you don't have enough hinge in your wrist on your backswing. Okay, so if you're holding it here and you're not hinging, okay, that's another reason why you're not necessarily releasing too early. It's just you've never had enough wrist hinge to begin with. So maybe that's something you need to do, is to learn to put a little more wrist hinge into it. And again, that goes back to the drill we talked about earlier. You take your posture here, hinge your wrist up, and rotate. Okay, that's going to help you hold that wrist angle. But for most of you out there, you are releasing the club a little bit too early here. Okay, so this is a great drill we talked about, the one club length away from the wall. I also want to see you work on that right arm only drill, where that left arm's back behind you. You're feeling like that body's going to open up. This right elbow connects with the right hip, and then it releases. Okay, right elbow, hip, release. Right elbow, hip, release. I think that's going to really help you guys out there. We're going to stop this video tonight right there. I think it's going to be really crucial, this one, to help you guys with your lag. Any questions you have, please drop them below. We're so thankful you decided to join us tonight. Check out our golf instruction. My name is Josh Kelly. If you want to see more of my videos, you can check out my YouTube channel, Josh Kelly Golf. Really appreciate you guys checking in with us, and we'll see you next time.